Hare Krishna. So now we will hear about the life pastime of Madhvacharya. For 12 years, Madhyageha Bhatta would regularly travel the 8 miles north from his village of Belle to Udupi. There, at the Ananteshvara temple, he would pray for a son. One day, a devotee in a trance-like state climbed the temple flagpole and announced that to re-establish the purest principle of religion, a male child, an incarnation of Vaayu, the demigod in charge in air, would soon be born. Madhyageha Bhatta understood within his heart that this would be his own child. Soon his wife Vedavati gave birth to a son. This happy couple named him Vaasudeva. For infancy, Vaasudeva showed extraordinary intellect, so much so that he was given brahminical initiation at age 5, 3 years early. However, he heard of or he read even just once, he could remember them very well. His body was unusually strong, lustrous and beautiful. At age 11, Vaasudeva left home for Udupi to be with Acyutapreksha, an ascetic widely spread and respected scholarship and saintly character. After 1 year, despite strong protest from his father, Vaasudeva renounced the world. Acyutapreksha named him Purnaprajna. Less than 40 days after taking sannyasa, Purnaprajna defeated Vaasudeva Pandit, a famous wandering scholar, in a public debate. The Pandit was known for his hair-splitting dialectical ability, but he was no match for young Purnaprajna. The debate spoke for 3 days and then declared anyone to refute his conclusions. Purnaprajna shocked the crowd when he accepted the issues. He repeated almost verbatim and Pandit's arguments. Then, one by one, he smashed them all. His victory was the talk of Udupi. Acyutapreksha gave him the title Anantatirtha in recognizing of his mastery of Vedanta. Word spread far and wide about the debating skill of this young ascetic in Udupi. Challengers and admirers converged on the town. Buddhisagara and Vadishesha, 2 Buddhist monks who had converted many to their fold, challenged Anantatirtha. After a day-long skirmish, they promised to return the next day. That night, however, they secretly fled from Udupi. Anantatirtha then went on a tour of South India. The most notable events on this tour were 2 encounters with Vidyashankara Swami, the lineal successor of Sripada Shankaracharya, who was the original propounder of the monistic theory of the absolute truth. Some basic tenets of Shankaracharya's philosophy are as follows. God and soul are identical. The formless, senseless, impersonal absolute is the only reality. All else is illusion. An incarnation of God are all illusionary results. Anantatirtha was thoroughly firmly with his doctrine in this subject, so he knew all the weak points. With firmness and courage he challenged the venerated Vidyashankara, and a fierce debate ensued. Vidyashankara could not defeat his opponent, yet he refused to accept defeat. Then they met again in Rameshwara during the monsoon season, at which time Vidyashankara taunted and harassed Anantatirtha, but the young saint tolerated the abuse. On his return journey, while addressing an assembly of learned men, Anantatirtha stated that every Vedic utterance conveyed a triple meaning, that each verse of the Mahabharata had 10 meanings, and that each of the 1,000 prominent names of Lord Vishnu had 100 meanings. When the astronaut assembly demanded he proved his statement, Anantatirtha explained 100 meanings of Vishwa, the first name of Vishnu. Before he could proceed further, however, they begged him to stop, admitting they did not have the intelligence to comprehend his elaborate explanations. Back in Udupi, Anantatirtha, who was now known as Madhva, wrote a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita and gave a copy to Acyutapreksha for his approval. Madhva's next tour was to Badrinath, high in the Himalayas. In Badrinath, he met Srila Vaasudeva, the author of the four Vedas and their voluminous supplementary literature. In preparation for his meeting, Madhva had observed complete silence and complete fasting for 48 days. He learned the full meaning of the Vedanta Sutra, the distilled essence of Vedic wisdom, from the transcendental author himself, and promised to write a commentary on the sutras, one that would be faithful to Srila Vyasadeva's original intent and purport. By the time he came down from the Himalayas, his commentary Sutrabhashya was completed. He set a copy ahead to Udupi for Acyutapreksha's approval. On his return trip, Srila Madhvacharya converted Shobhana Bhatta and Shami Shastri to Vaishnavism. The latter became successor to Madhva. As Padmanabha Tirtha and Narahari Tirtha, Madhva refused to the Narahari Tirtha of taking sannyasa, ordering him to remain in his high governmental position, in return for which he was to obtain the deities of Mula Rama and Sita, lying in the king of Kalinga's treasury. For many years, Narahari remained in that service until finally, just 3 months before Madhva's departure from this world, Narahari brought the ancient images of Sita Ram to his guru. These were the original deities of Rama and Sita, worshipped by Maharaja Ikshvaku and then by Maharaja Dasharath, the father of Lord Ram. Then during the time of Lord Krishna's advent, the Pandavas gave them to the Gajapati king of Odisha. Eventually, the deities were kept in the king's treasury. While still in his 20s, Srila Madhvacharya undertook a second tour to Badrinath, this one after he had founded Sri Krishna Mata in Udupi. On the way, tyrannical king pressed Madhva's party into digging a reservoir for the city of Devagiri. Madhva, however, persuaded the king himself to take part in the digging and then left with the party. The pilgrims had many other hardships and misadventures, but Madhva always saved them with his quick thinking and mystic powers. In Badrinatha, Madhva again heard from Vyasa, who gave him 8 sacred shalagram stones. On his return trip, Madhva stopped in Goa, where he enacted an amazing gastronomic feat. Previously, he had eaten 1,000 bananas in one sitting, but in Goa, he disputed his earlier record. He ate 4,000 bananas and then drank 30 pots of milk. When asked to prove that plants indeed respond to music, Madhava took a few seeds in his palm and began singing in the melodious voice. The seeds sprouted. Madhava continued singing, and the plants grew, saying to the melody. Madhava continued singing. The plants grew into fully maturity and yielded the fruits and flowers. News of this feat spread everywhere. From Udupi, Madhava travelled South India. In Vishnumangalam, he debated with Trivikramacharya, a logician and grammarian of remarkable skills, who was able to make the Sanskrit language convey any meaning that suited his purpose. The debate lasted 15 days, and in the end, Trivikrama surrendered at Madhva's feet. A full account of that debate is given in the Madhvacharya, written by the son of Trivikramacharya. News of Trivikrama's conversion brought hundreds and more thousands of men and women into Madhva's fold. His life mission thus became firmly rooted in India. Srila Madhvacharya wrote 39 books clarifying the tenets of Vaishnavism and showing Vaishnavism to be the true Vedic religion. In many of this work, he attacked the monastic creed of Shankaracharya's followers, exploring to impede Madhva's mission by less honorable means. They tried to defame him, declaring him a heretic and all his followers outcasts. They even stole his writings and his valuable collections of ancient books, thinking that without literature his mission would be finished. Somehow, King Jayasimha of Vishnumangalam acquired the books and returned them to Madhvacharya. Madhva had appeared in two other incarnations during the time of Krishna's pastimes. That is, when Krishna appeared on earth, he appeared as the warrior Bhima, one of the 5 brothers of Pandavas. During the time of Lord Rama, he incarnated as the beloved Hanuman, the idol servant of the Supreme Lord. And as in those incarnations, Madhava performed many feats of strength and displayed mystical perfections. As a child, he could appear suddenly in one mystic leap from anywhere in response to his mother's call. In school, he cured a friend's headache by blowing in his ear. He helped his father out of debt. He turned tamarind seeds into money. On 2 occasions, he made seeds sprout into plants by his singing. An enormous rock in Ambutirtha, requiring at least 50 men to move, bears an inscription stating that Madhvacharya placed it there with one hand. Many times Madhva made small quantities of food, increased for distribution to hundreds of people. At the age of 79, his mission well established, Srila Madhvacharya passed away. His devotees say he went to Badrinath to join Srila Vaasudeva. Hare Krishna.